in your view, how much of a concern and destabilizing factor is the security concerns right now after that bomb attack that we had on Friday, with the death toll now being seen at around 180 bodies?
Yes, it is actually a problem. We think that a lot of business people, especially Nigeria's obvious reliance on FDI, will suffer significantly as a result of the worsening security situation in the country. And it's quite remarkable because we're coming on the back of a week of strikes. People were just getting down to business, and then this starts to happen again. It's obvious that Nigeria is facing very interesting times, and it's important that at the end of the day, the way government deals with this will play a significant role in how the economy performs in 2012.
Very concerning. One of the other trends that we're watching right now is the interest in the oil and gas sector, with all the regulations that are being put on the table. There's strict enforcement rules which are being seen further down the line. How do you see this impacting specifically downstream players like Oando and Total?
Well, interesting. I think that it's going to be ultimately positive for the likes of Oando and Total and the other guys listed in the downstream space, especially the stronger players. What we suspect will happen is that the outcome of the probes from the House and the Senate will show that there's been quite a lot of infractions in terms of the participants in the market. And you would see quite a lot of those paper companies probably disappear from the radar. The good positive as well about the regulation for the market is that ultimately you will start to see the stronger players emerge as dominant players in the market, which means that, you know, for a lot of the corporates that have just been riding the wave of deregulation and benefiting from the inefficiencies in the market, they will also ultimately disappear from the radar, which could be positive for the major oil marketers, the likes of your Total, Oando, MRS, and to a large extent Cornell, and to some extent as well the NNPC as well as a downstream operator.
So really foreseeing a period of possible consolidation in the sector. Let's focus in on Oando, because that stock down some 65% on a one-year basis right now, underperforming the sector, underperforming the market by a far margin in 2011. But it's been earmarked as one of the outperformers or possible outperformers for 2012. Would you agree?
I think I do agree with you, and I think a lot of analysts have tried to rationalize what happened with Oando in 2011. I think Oando was basically suffering from an overhang of the rest of the market in 2011. There was quite a lot of positive news around Oando in 2010, especially with, you know, the foray into the upstream space, as well as their midstream operations. I think that generally investors have stripped off quite a lot of the good news in Oando in 2011, and probably even assigned sometimes completely zero value to all the other businesses outside of the downstream space, which could be positive because of the decisions that Oando is taking in unbundling those businesses and allowing them get their own values. We know, for example, that they had announced the Excel discussions, and hopefully there's expectations in the market that might close within the next couple of weeks. That could be positive for Oando because it just shows that there's significant value in the other players, in the other parts of the company outside of the downstream space. Obviously, there's also the rig business. There's the gas and power business as well that is showing significant cash flows. Recently launched the $180 million pipeline that's transporting gas to the eastern part of the country, and we're beginning to see them sign up a number of customers in that space. So it looks like it's very positive news for Oando going forward, and the company's decision to realize value by unbundling the holding structure could ultimately tend to be a major driver for that stock in 2012.